Aloha, big wave trading family. Wednesday's market session was extremely impressive. I can't believe that we only sold off for one day before reversing that bar in the Dow Jones Industrial Average today. We didn't do it on heavier volume than the session before, but as you can see on this chart, volume was extremely heavy, and with us hitting new highs, eclipsing the intraday highs of this previous session, it's hard to argue with that. It really, really is. The NYSE, an impressive session overall. The NASDAQ, an impressive session overall. The NASDAQ 100, an impressive session overall. The Russell 2000 didn't quite repair the previous day's damage, but still an impressive session overall. And the S&P 500, stellar session, just like the Dow Jones Industrial Average and NASDAQ. So everything's looking good. The only thing that isn't looking good is I'm finding it more and more difficult to find new long positions, and that's culminated with this evening's one new long signal, and by calling it a quality, quote quality position, that's really stretching it, and it's only identifying it as quality because it's in my perfect speculator scan. But overall, most things are extended. I want to show you the highest quality signal that I'm passing on this evening, MOD. So my theory is, in overbought markets, extended markets, 3 strikes you're out. So on MOD, do you see this move today, 4.43%? You go on an arithmetic chart and just look at the recent day's price action. You can see this is outside its average true range lately. And I know that some consider that bullish, but whenever it's also extended from the 20-day moving average, that's not something I chase. So because it's extended from the 20-day moving average, because the intraday range is outside its average true range, and whenever it does have moves like this, it doesn't really sustain them very well all the time. And the mere fact that the balance of power indicator is, you can see this, you can see the trend from those recent highs. I don't know why I went out like that. I went out like that because you can see this bar here is smaller than that bar right here. So overall, there's a clear downtrend, even though this one green bar is bigger than this one green bar. That bar is still lower than this bar, so that's not a good enough surge. I would normally, with it being extended from the 20-day moving average, with that move being outside its recent ATR, I would like to see the BOP bar above all of these green bars. But since it's not, I got to pass on MOD, so that was the highest quality signal I'm passing on. HAIR, I love that IPO signal, but an 11% move in one day, no thanks. When it was only up 5% on the session, it was a definite new long. Closing up over 10% eliminates it. FPH was another consideration, but it's extended from the 10 and 20-day moving average. Sky was another consideration, but it's also extended from the 10 and 20-day moving average. So that leaves us with the one and only new long position, HSON. Now, HSON is a perfect speculator, low price perfect speculator scan quality long position. I'm trying to open up that bar there. There you go. So you can see that it closed higher than where it opened, closing at 216 after opening at 215. Did nice hammer candle over candle price bar. Pocket pivot point signal on heavier volume. BOP didn't really increase, but it's been green for a while, and it didn't decrease that much from the session before. So if HSON follows through, it could easily increase again. Now, if BOP would have dropped from this to this today, and there would have been some air space, some gap in between these two bars, then it would not have been a new long position. But since HSON is not extended, you can see it's touching its 5, 10, and 20-day moving average, and near the recent lows with the candle over candle volume heavier than the day before, strong green BOP still in the pocket pivot point signal, HSON is good for a new long position. So 1% of my account capital, limit order 217, the high of the day, because it's a quality quote long signal since it's perfect speculator. Your only cut loss level that you should do, 205. It moves below 206, hits 205, you should be completely out. Now me, initially, I'm going to play around. 205, 199, 189, 170. But if this low goes and it loses green BOP or does it on heavier volume, these stops are all going to be moved up to whatever the new low a day is, similar to what I did on CIFS yesterday. And intraday today, CIFS hit my final stop when it traded below 37.42, and I'm completely out. So that's how I'm working HSON. low price, perfect speculator, quality stock. I do have 2 new speculative long positions for Platinum members. Go check out the Platinum page once I update it later on this Maui evening after a surf session. Now, since that's it for longs, let's go straight to the sell signals. AIMT is closing below the 20-day moving average on above average volume. If you're trading on an end-of-day basis, this is a 50% sell signal. If you didn't take any profits after the move below yesterday's low day, the above average high volume reversal automatically meant I moved some stops up. Then you want to definitely move at least half your stops to today's low. But for me, actually, I still am going to do that. So what I was thinking about doing was not placing a stop here and just keeping, because I've got it into thirds. And so after it eclipsed the intraday low today on AIMT and now have halves, I'm going to split that up into thirds. So one stop's going to go below 37.57, but end of day signal, it's 50%. One stop goes below here, 2/3, and one final stop here, 3/3 for me for AIMT. And STKS was a brand new long position immediately. It filled me at 235, even though it opened at 231. I got filled when it was still closed, but it's closing below 225 at 223. Or 224. That's an end of day 50% sell signal. My final stop for now is right here, but I am going to be splitting that stop that remains. Let's pretend it's 50 shares. I can't remember how much it is. 25 will go here, and 25 comes up to today's low day. So if it hits 222 tomorrow, I'll be knocked out of another 50% of STKS. Now for 100% full sell signals, GDEN. Let's go back here and open up the longs page so you can see when I went long. GDEN. You can see that. Where is that on here? Oh, I removed it today already. I'm sorry, everyone. So GDEN was a new long signal here. So the final sell signal is producing a 19% return. But even though it's a long here, and this is really its only true close below the 50-day moving average on heavy volume, why is it a full sell signal? Because those 3 lower highs and 3 lower lows accompany it with huge volume and red bop. This is a no-brainer decision. So if you have any GDEN left, I do not. I moved my final stop on GDEN to this day's low a day, giving it no more room following the heavy volume reversal because the market was strong, has been strong, and GDEN has been lagging in my portfolio. So I moved all my stop up to 31.46, knocked me all out on January the 3rd. But if you're still long, end-of-day basis, this is a 100% full sell signal. And if you have any GDEN left, you move it to this low here. Now, closing below the 50-day moving average, heavy volume, red bop. 1 high, 2 lower highs, 3 lower highs, 1 low, second lower low, third lower low. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. GDEN is a full sell signal, even though it's still up about 20% since our initial long signal, and this was its first true close below the 50-day moving average on above average volume. I guess it did that here, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Let me go look at my written diary right here. 1-3 GDEN was not as a 50%. So this actually, ignore everything I said. Not only is it 3 lower lows and 3 lower highs, red bop, huge volume, but it's also a confirmation close below the 50-day moving average. But that's not really how those work. A confirmation close is you get that day, and then you get another day, boom, boom, boom. But once you get 1 day below 50-day moving average, then it trends above the 50-day moving average. This is a brand new close below the 50-day moving average on above average volume. But since it's so vicious, it's a full sell signal. And then ACLS. ACLS was one of my very first new long positions whenever the market turned off its oversold condition back in August. It knocked me completely out today when it moved below this day's intraday low level. But if you are still long any ACLS, like if you still had a stop here, you need to move it to today's low a day. And if you're trading on an end of day basis, ACLS is a full sell signal for a 25% gain. But intraday I was knocked all out. And then INVH, a stock I never got a position in. This was the long signal, gapped up away from me, and then I moved the limit to this low, and as you can see, never came close to getting filled. It's doing those 3 lower highs, 3 lower lows. Even though volume's only heavier in the session before, which makes it good enough and not above average, it doesn't matter. 1 high, 2 highs, 3 lower highs, 1 low, 2 low, 3 lower lows, especially with it happening below the 50-day moving average, and BOP going negative. 100% full sell signal. INVH, like I said, never got a position. And then there's TEX, which was a new hedge, end of day basis. That's a 100% sell signal. Remember, I do my 50% shares at each new low. So today's low a day, whatever I have left, I'm moving half to just below 583. If it fails tomorrow, whatever the new half is, and on and on and on till I have one share remaining, and then I have 0 shares. And then also EDZ, the same thing. Great fill this morning, which helps. Limit order was 791. I got filled at 770. Hit 761, took me out of half. This is a 100% end of day full sell signal, but once again, like I just told you, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 until there's one share left and then none. That's how I play it in extremely overbought markets where I am heavily long. After today, and with an even new long positions, I'll have about, with the 1% going to HOSN, I'll be left with right around 4% of my capital overall. That is not enough for me to start day trading with. So I'm still not looking for any new day trade candidates in the morning. But once I go over 20% cash, and especially if I have no new long positions, as long as I can now start getting some capital raised in this overbought market, I'll start looking for some intraday day trades, especially if I don't get any more new long signals. Like I said, the only legit one that I can take that's not extended this evening, HSON. All right, everyone, I'll see you in the chat room on Thursday. Aloha.